West Fargo Public Schools welcomes you to today's theatrical performance. In the interest of keeping our students, staff, and patrons safe, we please ask you to observe the following COVID guidelines. We ask that you do not switch seats, but remain in the seat listed on your ticket. Please keep your mask on at all times while in the school building. And finally, since we are unable to provide an opportunity to meet the cast, we ask that you exit the building immediately after the performance. Thank you for your cooperation in helping us provide our students with a live audience experience.
morning.
Good morning.
Hello.
Hello. Nice day. Not bad at all.
By the way, did you hear?
I certainly did.
How about you? Did you hear?
You bet I did.
And you?
Yes, indeed.
Did you believe it?
Not at first. I thought they were kidding.
So did I.
But it's true.
It certainly is.
The second son of Mr. and Mrs. Frederick C. Little turned out to be a...
Maybe they haven't heard.
Perhaps you're right. How about you? Have you heard?
If you've heard, raise your hand. Some have.
Some haven't.
Maybe we should tell them.
I agree. You tell them.
You can tell them.
Why don't you tell them? I've got an idea. Why don't we all just tell them?
Good idea. So, where should we begin?
How about at the beginning?
An excellent place to begin. Then, let's begin.
The adventures of Stuart Little.
Stuart Little.
Thank you, thank you. You're more than kind. Was the second son of
Mr.
and Mrs.
Frederick C. Little.
And I'm George, the first son. Did you notice the little new son is not much bigger than a nose and a long tail of a, and not much bigger than a. I do believe the little new son is a mouse, and I'm delighted with
Stuart, though it's very unusual for an American family to have a mouse, even in New York.
Temperature
98.6, perfectly normal for a mouse.
Chest and heart.
Sound as $1, maybe sounder.
eyes, ears, nose, and throat.
Check, 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 and check. He's in excellent condition. You have a fine son there, Mr. and Mrs. Little. Feed him up.
And I'm George, the first son. Unlike most babies, Stuart could walk as soon as he was born.
There are certain advantages to being a mouse.
And when he was only a week old, he could climb lamps by simply just shimmying up the cord.
Youth has its privileges.
And when he was a month old, his mother made him a fine little black Worcester suit with patch pockets.
Where I can keep my money, my handkerchief, and my keys. Thanks, Mom and Dad.
As he grew older, Stuart was a great help to his parents. And to his brother George. That's me. The first son.
Because Stuart could do things that, well, only a mouse could do. And he was agreeable about doing them.
Whoa! Uh-oh, Stuart, my ping pong ball just rolled behind the radiator. Could you get it for me?
Sure, George.
I'll be in the recreation room.
Here you go, George.
Thanks, Stuart.
Stuart, your mother dropped her wedding ring down the bathtub drain. Could you be a good fellow and fetch it out?
I'll try, Dad.
Why did mother have her wedding ring on in the bathtub?
Here you are, Mother.
Thank you, Stuart.
Sure, Mom.
Isn't he terrific?
A fine fellow, but there will be problems, of course.
No child's perfect.
And one of those problems we'll have to deal with right away.
What's that, Pop?
There shall be no references to mice in any of our conversations.
Mom, what are you doing with that songbook?
Just reading of a song, dear.
What song?
3 blind mice. See how they run.
Good idea. We don't want our son growing up fearing that a farmer's wife is going to cut off his tail with a carving knife.
Guess we better do something about this, too. Was the night before Christmas when all through the house?
Not a creature was stirring, not even a... Well, we can't say mouse.
How about grouse?
I suggest souse.
What about louse?
'Twas the night before Christmas when all through the house
Not a creature was stirring, not even a louse.
I do believe that is the best substitute.
Then I'll just strip out mouse and change it to louse.
Do you know what worries me most?
What's that, Pop?
That mouse hole over there. Stuart does look a good deal like a mouse, and I haven't met one yet that doesn't like crawling into holes.
There will be problems.
No child's perfect.
Was I perfect, huh?
No child's perfect.
Especially George.
The home of the Littles family was a pleasant place.
And in the mornings, the sun streamed in through the east windows.
Stuart was an early riser. He was almost always the first one up in the morning.
It's nice to have the place all to oneself in the morning. 1, 2, 3, 145, 146.
All to yourself, bub.
Oh, hello, Snowbell.
You're up early, aren't you?
I thought I'd come down for a bit of exercise and brush my teeth.
Your teeth aren't big enough to brush. Want to see a good set? Look at mine.
Very nice, but mine are all right too, even though they're small. And I bet with all the exercise I've been doing, my stomach muscles are firmer than yours.
I bet they're not.
I bet they are. Like iron bands.
Bet they're not.
Really? You see that window shade in the next room with the pull cord and ring?
What of it?
I bet I can leap up, grab the ring, and chin myself 3 times.
Try it.
Okay. Here goes. Got the ring. Now I'll chin myself. 1, 2, help!
Holy mackerel. He rolled himself up in that window shade.
Help! Get me out!
I guess that will teach him to show off his muscles. My. This place needs some tidying up a bit. Maybe I'll just set these here, next to Mousel.
Good morning. Are you up yet, Stuart?
Stuart?
Oh no, it's happened.
What has?
Stuart's gone down the mouse hole. Oh, my poor dear little son. I just know he'll get wedged in there somewhere.
Now, Mother, just because you can't comfortably travel in a mouse hole doesn't mean it's not a perfectly suitable place for Stuart. Just don't get so worked up.
George! That's all called, Stuart. It's quite possible he lost his way in there.
Very well. I'll count to 3, then we'll all call. Then we'll wait for 3 seconds, waiting for a response. 1, 2, 3.
Stuart! Look in the window shade.
It's no use.
Don't worry, Mother. I have a plan.
Hello, Bureau of Missing Persons.
Hello? My son is missing.
Can you give us a description of your son?
Short, whiskers, large ears.
Sounds like a mouse to me.
Actually, he is a mouse.
What are you? Are you some kind of joker? Why wouldn't you just call the Bureau of Missing Mice?
Stuart must be dead.
Nonsense, nonsense.
If he is dead, we need to go in the morning. I'll pull down the window shades.
George, stop that. What are you doing?
Pulling down the window shades so that everyone knows we're in mourning over Stuart.
Oh. Goodness, what was that?
Oh, for the love of Pete. Look who's here, Mom.
It's about time somebody pulled down that window shade. That's all I can say.
Are you all right?
How
What
long were
happened?
you in there?
It was simply an accident that could have happened to anybody.
Hey, Stuart, what are you things doing in front of that mouse hole over there?
You can draw your own conclusions.
Are you hungry? You must be starving.
I could eat.
I told you everything would be all right.
One morning when the wind was from the west,
Stuart put on his sailor hat.
took his spyglass down from the top shelf and set out for a walk full of the joy of life.
I'm filled with the joy of life. I'm also filled with the fear of barking dogs.
With a rolling gait.
Stuart sauntered along 5th Avenue.
keeping a sharp lookout for dogs. Whew.
Ruff! Oh no! Dogs!
Excuse me, miss. Do you have a newspaper I can crawl inside?
Is yesterday's New York Times okay?
Fine.
I'll grab that for you.
That was a close one. Thank you, miss.
At the corner of 5th Avenue, there were several people waiting for the uptown bus.
Nobody noticed Stuart because he wasn't tall enough to be noticed.
I'm not tall enough to be noticed, but I'm tall enough to go to 72nd Street.
Whoa! Where'd you get that license? Woolworths? What's that you're offering me?
The coin. My father made it for me.
It's tinfoil.
That's the kind of dime I carry.
72nd Street and Central Park West.
Thanks.
Oh, here's your dime back. The ride's free for you.
Keep it. I don't accept charity.
Stuart hopped off the bus and joined the others who were hurrying across to the sailboat pond in Central Park.
The Lillian B. Womrath is the fastest boat in Central Park, and I, Captain Leroy, have never been defeated.
Hey, wait for me!
My boat's fastest. No, mine is.
Whoa! Excuse me, miss. Are you the owner of the schooner Wasp?
I am.
I'm looking for a good ship, and I thought perhaps you might sign me on. I'm strong and I'm quick.
Well, I'll tell you what I'll do with you. You see that big racing sloop over there?
I do.
That's the Lillian B. Womrath, and I hate her with all my heart.
Then so do I.
I hate her because she's always bumping into my boat, and because her owner is a lazy boy named Leroy who doesn't understand sailing and who hardly knows a squall from a squid,
Or a jib from a jibe.
or a luff from a leech,
Or a deck from a dog.
or a mist from mouse. But hold on now, no more of this. My young friend, I'll you sail the Wasp across the pond and back, and if you can defeat that detestable sloop, I'll give you a regular job.
Aye, aye, Captain. Whoa!
By the by, you haven't told me your name.
I'm Stuart Little, second son of Frederick C. Little of this city.
Bon voyage, Stuart. Take care of yourself and bring the Wasp home safely.
That I will.
Let's be off to the pond for a race. I'll be the referee. Is the Wasp ready? Ready, ma'am. Is the William B. Womrath ready?
Sure, I'm ready.
To the north of the pond and back again. On your mark, get set, go!
What a ship! What a day! What a race!
Ah! Pipe down!
Stuart, back your foresail and give her a full.
Aye, Captain.
Hey! What's wrong with my ship?
You're beginning to yaw.
Yaw?
Yes!
Aw.
The mouse is winning.
Rats! I lost the race. I mean mice.
To what do you attribute your victory to, young fellow?
I credit a good schooner, a good win, and a good fortune.
not to mention a good captain aboard. Stuart, this is the happiest day of my life. If I can ever do anything for you, let me know. My name is Dr. Paula Carey. I'm a dentist. Boats are my hobby, and I'd be delighted to have you take command of my vessel at any time.
Thank you, Dr. Carey. The pleasure is all mine.
So, tell me, what's it like being the second son of Mr. and Mrs. Frederick C. Little?
It's okay, I guess. We get a lot of weird looks when we're going on family walks, though.
One cold afternoon, Mrs. Little was shaking her dust mop out of the window.
When she noticed a small bird lying there on the windowsill, apparently dead.
The poor thing. Oh, good, she's still alive. I think she needs to stay here until she's feeling better. I'll fix her a place next to Boston Fern, and I'll get her some food and water.
Hey, Mom! Do you know where my... Oh, hello. Who are you? Where did you come from?
My name is Margalo. I come from fields once tall with weed, from pastures deep in fern and thistle. I come from vales of meadow sweet, and I love to whistle.
Say that again.
I can't. I have a sore throat.
I've got such bronchitis myself. You can borrow my gargle if you want, and I have plenty of Kleenex.
Thank you very much. You're very kind.
Did my mother take your temperature?
No, but I don't think it will be necessary.
I must say, I've never met any creature as beautiful as this tiny bird. I think I love her already. Oh, yeah.
Now, if you'll excuse me, I think I shall go to sleep. Good night, sir.
Please don't call me sir. Call me Stuart.
Good night, Stuart.
Good night, Margalo. See you in the morning. Aw, she sleeps. That's a mighty fine bird. Exquisite, glorious, truly a bird of paradise.
Stuart, what do you think of our little bird?
Oh, she's okay, I guess.
Oh, look, she's asleep. I'll feed her this bird seed in the morning.
Mom, do you think the bird would be safe sleeping here in the living room tonight?
Quite safe, my dear.
But what about the cat, Snowbell?
Snowball won't touch the bird. Now you can go to sleep and forget all about it.
There's something about me that doesn't trust that cat. I know Margalo's in danger.
Stuart then went to his room and took out his bow and arrow.
And got out his flashlight.
And tiptoed back down to where Margalo was sleeping.
Stuart then hid and waited, listening and watching.
For half an hour, he saw nothing.
Heard nothing but the faint ruffle of Margalo's wings when she stirred in a dream.
Sleep dwell upon thine eyes, peace in thy breast. I heard that in a movie once. Aha! The time has come! A direct hit. That's the finest thing I've ever done. Fear not, fair friend. I'm thy guardian, and thy protectorate. Another movie, I believe.
Margalo liked it so well at the Littles' house, she decided to stay for a while instead of returning to the open country.
Morning, Margalo. Hey, Stuart, look at these neat ice skates Mom made for you. She made them out of paper clips. Paper clips. What an imaginative family. I do like it here.
What a day! New ice skates, and Margalo is staying. She grows more beautiful each day. I hope she never leaves. Well, nothing like a cold winter day for a little ice skating. Thanks, Mom. The new skates are terrific. Now, where should I go? That boat pond in Central Park is frozen over. Or I could go to the next lake. Nope. There's one thing that bothers me more than a cat. It's a dog. I need a place to hide.
Stuart saw the open garbage can and quickly crawled inside. He barely escaped from those dogs. A moment later, 2 garbage men came to pick up the trash.
Right, Hank? To the garbage cow. Right, Zeke? To the garbage cow.
The garbage cow? That's a flatbed boat that takes garbage out to sea.
Right, Hank? Here we are. Right, Zeke? Now dump her onto the scow.
Help! Help!
You say something, Hank? Thanks for the help, Zeke. No problem, Hank. Hey, we're off now. You want to go bowling? No, thanks. I gotta go home and take out the garbage.
After the load had been dumped into the scow at the East River, Stuart and the garbage were headed out to sea.
They're taking this garbage and me onto the Atlantic Ocean. I guess this will be my last ride in this world. I'll just have to sit here bravely and die like a man. But I wish I didn't have to die in all this garbage. Stuart! Marble! How did you get here?
I was looking out the window this morning when you left home, and I saw the garbage man take you away. So I flew out the window and followed, thinking you might need help.
I've never been so glad to see anybody in my life. But how are you going to help me?
I'll fly ashore with you. Drop your skates so you won't be so heavy. Now hang on, let's go.
Alrighty.
With a flutter of wings, Margalo rose into the sky, and together she and Stuart flew out over the ocean and headed towards home.
We're almost home. I can see the towers and chimneys in New York.
Margalo, you saved my life.
Well, it was my turn.
What do you mean?
I know who shot the arrow into Snowball's ear that night.
How did you know?
Let's just say a little bird told me. No, hang on. We're going home. I like the nighttime more than the daytime. Maybe it's because my eyes like the dark. Or maybe it's because there's so many worthwhile things going in New York at night, especially when my friends are in the neighborhood, like that Maltese cat at the A&P. Evening, Maltese.
How's it by you, Snowbell?
Can't complain.
Who would listen anyway? Right?
The house cat in the basement of the apartment next door. Nice night, Baba.
I love the smells of the spring in the city.
Yes, I just got a whiff of Malarkey's fish market myself.
And the liver pate at Perloff's delicacy.
The Siamese cat in the basement of the branch library. Hello, Teague.
Top of the evening to you, Snowbell.
What you reading, Teague?
Oh,
Just some poems by T.S. Eliot.
And finally, the young Angora who recently escaped a pet shop on 3rd Avenue. Hey, Auntie, what brings you to this neighborhood?
A rumor, my friend. A rumor.
Oh, a rumor.
I hear you live in a house with a mouse and a bird, and you don't do anything about it. If you catch my drift.
I get your drift. But what can I do about it? The mouse is a member of the family, and the bird a permanent guest like myself.
Well, all I can say is you've got more self-control than I do.
To tell you the truth, I have been terribly nervous and upset lately. And I think it's because I've been holding things in.
The two cats continued to talk about the bird and the mouse. Soon, they awakened a gray pigeon who had been sleeping in a vine a few feet above them. The pigeon, who wasn't too fond of cats in the first place, listened carefully.
If I were you, I'd gobble that bird up in a second.
I can't do that to my own family.
My, this sounds like an interesting conversation. Maybe I better stick around, see if I learn anything.
I'll admit, a cat has a duty towards her own people, but I'm not a member of your family, and there's nothing to stop me from eating the bird. Now, is there?
Nothing I can think of.
Well then, here I go.
Wait until tomorrow night, when Mr. and Mrs. Little will be out for the evening. You won't be taking such a risk.
All right, I guess I can wait.
Good. See you tomorrow.
I'm obliged to, ma'am.
This is terrible! That cat plans on eating that bird? I better find myself a writing paper and a pencil. All right, one fair warning from one feathered friend to another.
That morning, Margola found a note in her bed when she woke.
What's this? Beware of a strange cat who will come in the night. Signed, a well-wisher.
Oh no! What had I better do? I don't dare show this to anyone, not even to Stuart. I don't know what to do.
Margalo then hopped up to an open window, and without saying anything to anybody, she left.
Goodbye, Stuart. I hope we shall meet again someday, my love.
It was springtime, and Margalo flew north just as fast as she could fly. Something inside Margalo told her that north was the way for a bird to fly when spring comes to the land.
She's gone! She's gone! I've looked everywhere and she's not here.
Margalo?
Margalo!
Margalo?
Where did she go?
Here, bird. I guess she had spring fever. A normal bird doesn't stay inside in this kind of weather.
Well, I'm afraid she's gone. Come on, George. Let's get the shopping done.
Don't forget the milk and bread and birdseed. Well, I suppose you can forget the birdseed. You won't need it anymore.
Stuart was heartbroken.
He had no appetite, and he wouldn't eat.
And he lost weight.
I need to go out into the world and look for Margalo. And while I'm about it,
I might as well seek my fortune too. The way may be long, but even a journey of 1,000 miles begins in a single step. Another movie, I believe.
And so, Stuart Little began to contemplate his new adventure.
Before daybreak, he took out his biggest handkerchief, and in it he placed his money, his soap, his comb, his toothbrush, and clean, clean underwear.
He then put his compass into his pocket.
I had to take something to remember my mother by. A hair from her comb. That should do it.
Stuart rolled everything up into a bundle.
And then tied it to the end of a matchstick.
Then he stole softly out of the house.
Goodbye, beautiful home. I wonder if I'll ever see you again. The world is a big place to look for a lost bird. Which direction should I start out in? Any advice on such an important matter?
Stuart, this is the happiest day of my life. If I can ever do anything for you, let me know.
Dr. Carey, she's the person I could turn to. Madison Avenue at 53rd.
Open a little wider, Mr. Clydesdale. I need more gauze, Miss Funson.
Right away, Dr. Carey.
Stuart, glad to see you. Come on in. This is my patient, Mr. Edward Clydesdale. Mr. Clydesdale, this is my friend, Stuart Little.
Are you sure?
Very well, thank you.
Well, what's on your mind, Stuart?
I ran away from home this morning. I'm going out into the world to seek my fortune to look for a lost bird. Which direction should I start out in?
What color is this bird?
Yellow.
Better go north. Don't you think so, Mr. Clydesdale?
Okay, until arc.
Huh?
Okay, until arc.
He says look in Central Park, and it's a good suggestion. Oftentimes, people with decayed teeth have sound ideas.
If you can't get it in Central Arc, it can be it's Connecticut.
What?
He says if you can't locate the bird in Central Park, take a New York, New Haven, and Hartford railway train and look in Connecticut.
Oh.
There. All finished, Mr. Clydesdale.
Incorrect.
Beg pardon?
He says thank you very much.
My pleasure.
Here's that gauze, Dr. Carey.
No eating or drinking for 6 hours, Mr. Clydesdale.
Right, arc, a short little cognac egg.
Tell me, Stuart, are you traveling on foot?
Yes.
Well, I think you should have a car. I enjoy building model cars when I'm not extracting teeth, and I've built a car with a real gasoline motor in it. Do you think you can handle it?
Certainly.
Then let's go out and start it up.
Maybe. That night, drive the car. Stuart slept at the doctor's apartment that night and started early in the morning to avoid traffic.
Stuart then drove to 110th Street. Then he went to the West Side Highway, then north to the Sawmill Parkway.
This car runs beautifully.
He drove in the direction of Connecticut until he came to the loveliest town he had ever seen. There, he stopped at a general store, but the storekeeper was counting her cash.
Oh, hello. My Nice town you have here.
Ames Crossing goes back to Revolutionary days.
I'm very thirsty. Do you have any sarsaparilla in your store?
We carry everything. Sarsaparilla, hammers and nails, cotton shirts, comic books. We even carry stamps. This is the post office, too.
A sarsaparilla, please.
Pretty short, aren't you?
For a mouse, I'm pretty tall.
There's somebody in this town you ought to meet. She's about your size.
Who's that?
Harriet Ames, young and pretty and from a prominent family with plenty of money.
Thanks, but I'm not much of a society's man these days. Too much on the move. Here today, gone tomorrow, which reminds me, it's time I'm on my way.
Good morning, Mr. Morrison. I'd like to mail this letter.
Sure thing, Harriet.
Thank you.
Who was that?
Harriet Ames.
She is pretty. And she's the only girl I've ever seen who isn't miles and miles taller than me. Miss Ames, no, that'll be too bold. I'll write a letter. Sometimes it's easier to write than it is to speak. Thank you. Dear Miss Ames, I'm a person of modest proportions.
Stuart began to write a carefully worded letter to Miss Harriet Ames.
Ooh, maybe we could go canoeing. No, a picnic. Is there a river nearby?
Ames River.
Is there a place to lay down a picnic blanket?
Ames Landing, mileage to town.
Great.
Stuart asked Harriet to join him for a picnic.
At exactly 5 o'clock, I shall await your arrival with all the eagerness I can muster. Yours truly, Stuart Little. I hope she'll come back to the post office this afternoon to check her mail.
She usually does.
Great, then I assume she'll accept my invitation to a picnic. I don't even have a picnic basket. Do you sell picnic baskets?
We carry everything. Sarsaparilla, hammers and nails, cotton shirts, comic books.
A basket, please?
I think we've got a little basket about your size in the back. I sell them for souvenirs. 75 cents plus tax.
I'll take it.
Drive around back. I'll help you load it up. Stuart then drove down to Ames Landing. It was hot outside, and Stuart was tired after the drive. And, on top of all that, he had somewhat of a rough time setting up the picnic.
Good enough. I'm rather nervous. I've never taken a girl on a date before. I better brush my hair and comb my whiskers. Oh no! My shirt is wet from nervous perspiration. Oh my, it must be nearly 5 o'clock and it looks rainy. What will I do if Harry shows up and it should rain?
Hello?
Hello there.
Are you Mr. Little?
Yes, it was good of you to come.
It was very nice of you to ask me.
Well, shall we sit down at my picnic?
Why not?
Would you like an apple?
Yes, please.
Oh no, all the food's gone bad. Are you sure, Miss Ames? I had everything beautifully arranged. Everything. And now look.
That's all right. We don't have to go picnicking. I guess we could go fishing.
With what? We don't have any fishing gear.
I guess we could pretend we're fishing.
I don't want to pretend we're fishing.
Well, would you like a peppermint?
No thanks.
I don't see why you gotta sit here and sulk. Would you like to come to my house? After dinner, you can take me to the dance at the country club. It might cheer you up a bit.
No thanks. I don't know how to dance. And besides, I plan to be on the road by daybreak. I'll probably just sleep here on the riverbank tonight.
Well, it's starting to rain. I guess I better be running along. Goodbye, Mr. Little.
Goodbye, Miss Ames. I'm sorry evening had to end like this.
Me too.
And so Harriet walked along the wet path, leaving Stuart alone with his broken dreams and his rotten food.
She called me Mr. Little. I wasn't very nice to her. I was actually rude. I'm afraid I've got a lot of growing up to do before it can be called Mr. Little.
Stuart slept fitfully that night. He was tossing and turning, and he was dreaming unpleasant dreams.
Miss Ames, a sarsaparilla, please. Miss Ames, Miss Margalo! Margalo! Oh, good. It's morning, and it stopped raining, and I hear birds. Could one of them be? No, not Margalo. But she's out there somewhere. Oh well, time to hit the road.
Well, Stuart packed up, got in his car, and drove away.
Just as the sun was coming up, Stuart saw a man seated in thought by the side of the road.
I wonder if he's having trouble. Hey, you. You're worried about something, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
Well, can I help?
It's an impossible situation, I guess. You see, I'm superintendent of schools in this town.
Oh, that's a bad situation, but not impossible.
I've always got problems that I can't solve. Today, for instance, one of my teachers is sick. Miss Gunderson, her name is, teaches number 7 school. I've got to find a substitute teacher for her.
What's the matter with her?
I don't know exactly. The doctor says she may have rhinestones.
I could take Miss Gunderson's place for the day if you'd like.
Really?
Certainly. Glad to.
Well, thank you very much. Number 7 school, 9 sharp.
I'll be there.
Where's the teacher? Oh my God! Hey! No!
Let me have your attention, please.
Oh my God! Look, it's a.
This is going to be fun.
Let me have your attention, please. As you know, Miss Gunderson is sick and I'm taking her place for the day.
What's wrong with her?
Vitamin trouble. She took vitamin A. Oh, what she need a B? And vitamin C. What she need a D? Now, what's the first subject you usually take up in the morning?
Arithmetic.
Bother arithmetic. Let's skip it. What else do you study?
Writing.
Don't you children know how to write yet?
Of course we do.
So much for writing then.
Social studies comes next.
Social studies? I've never heard of them. Instead of taking up any special subject today, let's just talk about something.
Can we talk about how a snake can walk without any legs?
We could, but I'd rather not.
Can we talk about good and bad?
Nope, guess again.
Can we talk about the circus?
No, I'll tell you. Let's talk about the king of the world.
There isn't any king of the world.
What's the big deal?
Kings are old-fashioned.
Fine. How about the chairman of the world? The world gets into a lot of trouble because it has no chairman. I'd like to be chairman of the world myself, you know.
You're too small.
Ah, fish feathers. Size has nothing to do with it. It's temperament and ability that count. And you know what's important. How many of you know what's important? Henrietta Rackler, can you tell us what's important?
Sunlight, music, and keeping it tidy.
Correct. You forgot one thing, though. Mary Bendix. Can you tell us what Henrietta Rackmeyer forgot?
She forgot ice cream with chocolate sauce on it.
Correct. Ice cream is important. Very important. Now, if I'm going to be chairman of the world this morning, let's have some laws. Can anyone suggest any good laws for the world?
No stealing things.
No stealing. Excellent law. Anyone else? You.
Absolutely no being mean.
No being mean. Excellent law.
That won't work. Some people are just naturally mean.
I'm not saying it'll work, but it's good to have some laws. right now. Somebody do something mean to someone else. Harry Jameson, can you do something mean to Catherine Stableford? Looks like I've gotten your hand there, Catherine.
It's a tiny pillow.
Do you love it very much?
Yes.
Okay, Harry, grab it and take it away.
I've got the pillow.
Now hold on, my good people, while your chairman consults his book of rules.
What? She's so weird.
Page 560, no being me. Page 470, absolutely no stealing. Harry Jameson broke 2 laws. The law against stealing and the law against being mean. Here, let's all talk to Harry before he becomes so mean people hardly recognize him. Come on.
Give it back. Give her the pillow. You shouldn't have taken it.
I'm sorry, Catherine.
It's all right, Harry. It was just a test, but it worked pretty well, didn't it? No being mean is a perfectly good law. Everybody can sit back down now. Whew, being chairman of the world is hard work.
Thank you for getting my pillow back, Mr. Chairman. It was a present to me.
I suppose it was given to you by a boy you met at Lake Hopatcon last summer?
Yes. Yes, it was.
Ah, summers are wonderful, aren't they, Catherine?
Yes, they are.
Summer's like a shaft of sunlight.
Or a note of music.
Never forget your sometimes, my dears. Well, I've got to get going. Class dismissed.
We wish you could be our teacher every day instead of Mrs. Gunderson.
Don't say that. I could hurt Miss Gunderson's feelings. But remember, no being mean.
Say, what's your name anyway?
I'm Stuart Little, second son of Frederick C. Little of New York City.
Goodbye, Mr. Little.
Goodbye. Mr. Little, I like it, but it's a bit premature. No man's a mister until he grows up and finds his fortune. Or his best friend in the whole world, Margalo. I've got to find her. Which direction should I go? Whoa! Oh, hello. It's gonna be a fine day.
Yes, a fine day indeed. I'm looking forward to climbing my poles.
Do you work for the telephone company?
Repairman.
Do you see any birds at the top of your poles?
I see birds of great numbers.
Well, if you ever come across a bird named Margalo, draw me a line. Use my card.
Describe the bird.
Yellow with a blue scarf around her neck.
Know where she comes from?
She comes from fields once tall with wheat.
From pastures deep in fern and thistle. I come from vales of meadow sweet, and I love to whistle.
Fields, fern, and thistle. Loves whistling. Got it. What direction you headed?
North, I think.
North is good. South is a fine direction too.
Seems to be.
Then there's east.
Yeah,
West is a good direction too.
people say.
But there's something about north. Something that sets it apart from all the other directions. Someone who has headed north is not making a mistake, in my opinion.
That's the way I look at it. Well, thanks for a friendly conversation.
No problem. Hope you find that bird.
Well, it's the road that leads to the north. It wouldn't be long, but the sky is bright, and somehow I feel I'm heading in the right direction.
And that's the story of Stuart Little as we know it.
Did he keep traveling north?
Or did he ever find his beloved Margalo? Did he ever return to his home and family?
Well, nobody knows for certain, for this is where our story ends.
But it's also where our imagination begins.
Perhaps each of us can supply our own ending to the fascinating story of the most remarkable little mouse.
And never ever forget Stuart Little.
go, go.
So thank you for making our middle school theater experience so awesome.